Hi, Sweet Fleas. I just want to thank all of my patrons for the support. If you would like to see any of my 18+ work, you can find that on my Patreon. If you would like to get a custom video, you can contact me at the accounts in my Linktree or at the email in my description. Thank you guys so much for the support. Enjoy the video. Wake up, little human. That's it. What's the human expression? Rise and shine. Rise and shine. There we go. Oh, you look a little... It's okay, it's okay. Shh, it's okay. I know the scene behind me is a lot to take in, and admittedly that was the intention. I just didn't think it would frighten you so bad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you. I have a bad habit of doing that, I suppose, don't I? I remember when I first brought you in for testing, how startled you were, to see me, any Taro, I guess, but, we are large, as you have come to understand by now. I'm sorry for waking you up. I know you seem to be really enjoying that sleep. You looked so cozy in the palm of my hand like that, but, I just couldn't wait. I had a little bit of a surprise for you. Now, I know that right now, it's a very special time on your planet for many, many people on your planet. Your whole species seems to go crazy this time of year. In fact, that's why I fashioned this nice sweater. It's not the one that I would normally have worn. You know, the blue sweater that I normally wear. And that's partly in the spirit of your holiday. The one that you humans seem to really love and care about. But that's actually what I wanted to talk about and maybe share a little with you. We also have a very special holiday here in Taro, which is what you're seeing behind you, by the way. Surprise! You're on Taro. That is what I wanted to wake you up for. It's kind of a big deal. You humans were not allowed to be on the surface of this planet. You didn't have authorization, and that just came through. So, congratulations, you are officially approved to inhabit AIS space, which is quite an honor. You know, most species don't have the privilege. And so I decided it might be pretty special if I brought you to my home planet. The other reason that I brought you here, I suppose there's a couple of reasons, actually. Let's start with this. There is a holiday on my planet as well that we are currently observing, called All Souls Day. Do you know what that is? I don't imagine you would. Maybe you've overheard some of the other researchers talking about it, but I doubt it. All Souls Day is a holiday where we celebrate all souls. Anything with a soul, and, you know, anything sapient. Anybody out there in the universe. Including you, and the rest of humanity. So, happy All Souls Day. And, you know, I could explain some of the customs and some of the holiday treats that we have on All Souls Day. But I actually wanted to ask you more about your holiday, because, well, admittedly, while we do a fair bit of research, we haven't really talked too much to you humans about everything, your various holidays. So, would you mind if I asked you a few inquisitive questions? This is entirely off the record, mind you. I don't have any notepads or data pads or nothing like that. This is purely off the record. And you don't have to if you don't. You do want to help me? Oh, I had a feeling you might. Okay. In that case, would you mind if I brought you in a little closer? Good. Just a little closer. There we are. You're so adorable. You know that? Yes, you are. You love it when I brush you like this, don't you? My, you humans really do love being pet. I'll never understand it. I guess I can understand it a little bit. Who doesn't like being pet and comforted and the closeness, the intimacy. It's nice. So, my questions are going to sound strange, I suppose. Forgive me. Remember that. As much as I know about your species and your planet, I'm obviously not one of you. And my thought processes are different than yours. Let's just say that. Taro don't think the way that humans think, and vice versa, so there's a little bit of weirdness when it comes to trying to understand one another, isn't there? It's just the way of things. The universe is so vast, and there's a lot to know, and our brains are only capable of so much cognition and data retention, unfortunately. So, my first question is, I'd like for you to tell me more about eggnog. I've heard so much about eggnog. It sounds like it's very tasty, but I don't know practically anything about it, really. Is that right? That sounds very good. But it's made with eggs, you say? Wow, that is quite fascinating, I won't lie. I mean, chalk it up to my inquisitive nature as a researcher, but yeah, that sounds not only intriguingly delicious, but I would have never expected to make a drink like that using eggs, but you humans are a resourceful species for sure. Okay, my next question then. What is mistletoe? See, with a name like mistletoe, I would have expected it had more to do with toes. But it doesn't. Unless... What if, hypothetically, I put a little bit of that mistletoe plant over my toe beans? Would you kiss them? I might want to try that. That sounds like it could be a lot of fun. Do all humans observe the mistletoe? Many of you, huh? That is a fascinating custom, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So, I know that there is a mythical creature that you humans refer to as Santa Claus. Tell me about him. I'm sorry. I know that this is coming off as like a weird holiday interrogation. That is not my intention. I'm sorry that it's coming across that way. You know how we researchers work at this point. All the strange questions, Okay. Okay. Red suit. Is there a reason he wears red? Huh. Ma'am, maybe I'll ask another human and see if they know. That's interesting. I have noticed that red and white tend to be very well represented this time of year. Well, that is so fascinating. You know, I would have expected a being like Santa Claus to have more to do with claws. Again, your naming conventions are so interesting. Mistletoe has nothing to do with toes, and Santa Claus has nothing to do with claws. So fascinating how that works. Okay. And how does this... I guess he's not a creature, is he? He's like a man? Like a human? How does he visit every child on your planet? That seems magical. Yeah, that tends to answer a lot of questions when it comes to mythical creatures, doesn't it? Human or not. That's interesting. Reindeer? Those are that kind of deer that live in the northern climates of your planet, right? Yeah, I remember seeing those. They're very pretty. I've always found them to be quite stunning. With the big horns and... yeah. Why do you wrap the presents like that? With the paper and the bows and all of that? Doesn't it kind of just get in the way of the present? It's kind of part of the charm then, huh? I suppose I can understand that. That's interesting. Very interesting. What is your favorite part of this holiday, if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, I could see that. I may not celebrate it or observe your holidays the way that you humans do, but I have a very healthy appreciation for it. Why? Oh, well, it's almost it's similar to All Souls Day in a way. It's about recognizing the soul, you know? Recognizing and appreciating the sapience of, well, I think you humans would refer to it as the humanity of an individual, which is a very self-centric way of putting it, if you don't mind me saying so, but given that your species doesn't know that you're not alone, I could see it. But yeah, recognizing, appreciating, celebrating the humanity of an individual. It's a time for selflessness and love and generosity, and those things are universal. It's not a uniquely human thing to feel love or to be generous or to practice kindness, and to have a holiday specifically dedicated to those kinds of feelings is quite lovely. It's little wonder that many of the AIS species are a little enamored by you humans and your holiday this time of year. Not every species has an All Souls Day or Christmas or any of these other holidays. Yeah. Taro just part of the reason why we are the species that are conducting the research on your species is because despite all of our differences, and obviously the difference in size being a large one, no pun intended, we really do have a lot in common. Customs are not entirely dissimilar. We both like being pet. We both have that in common. So, can you tell me a little bit about hot chocolate? I know that's a rather important dish this time of year. It's not really a dish, it's a drink. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Well, it's an important drink either way, right? Oh my, that does sound tasty. I have had chocolate, from Earth before, and that is absolutely delicious. So, it isn't, wintry on Taro right now, at least not on this side of Taro, which, that city back there that you see is, my home city. That's where I was born and raised for most of my, formative years. In fact, if you look right there, do you see that large, rounded structure over there? That's where I learned how to conduct research. That's where I got a lot of preliminary information about humans as well. Which is why I decided to learn everything I could. I wanted to become a human specialist. Yeah, I mean, you already knew that I had an infatuation with you humans, I'm sure. Why else would I spend so much time with you, and why do I constantly tell you how cute you are? It's not a coincidence, and, sure, there are other species in the AIS that I find to be particularly adorable, but I don't know. Humans are just so... This is gonna sound condescending, and I'm sorry, but Small and helpless. Yeah. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, my dear, but you don't even have claws. You don't have any fangs. And your species are comparably like little gnats to me. All it would take for me is a little walk on the surface of your planet. And the amount of damage that I could do is godlike, almost, isn't it? Even your deadliest weapons would not be able to do much to me. A single Taro could wipe your entire species out of existence. Do you realize that? And that's part of what I find so charming. You're so fragile. And you don't really even realize how much danger you're always in. You're exceedingly lucky that the AIS, all of the member species of the AIS, are peaceful and have no intentions of conquering other planets or species or anything like that. I'm sorry, I don't want to scare you or anything. This is supposed to be a much more relaxing conversation than it ended up being. You know, I'm my own strange Taro way. I'm trying to reassure you. But that's why I find so endearing about your species, why I like humans so much. You're so small, so powerless, but so full of that same spark. Do you know what I mean? That same soul that you find in a Taro. Maybe not exactly the same soul, but very similar. Or any of the other species in the AIS, despite being so tiny, delicate. You know, there's something very endearing about that. On that topic, I actually wanted to ask, admittedly, there is another ulterior reason why I decided to bring you to Taro, because I didn't necessarily need to do that. I could have left you on the research vessel during All Souls Day and put you, to bed, and I would have rejoined you the next day, but, I don't know. I felt this would be more special, and I have something I have something I wanted to ask you, and there is no obligation to agree to this, okay? So, if you say no, that's the end of it, okay? I will not push the matter, but spit it out, Ragna, you can do it. I remember you mentioned in one of our research sessions that you don't have much in the way of a home to return to, which is why you stayed so long on the research vessel. And, while I appreciate that immensely, because the information that we've been able to gather from your cooperation has been enormous, Well, I want you to have a home. And I would like it if... I would really like it if that home were here with me. On Taro. Yeah, with me. I would take very good care of you, and you would never want for anything, you know? I've always been very good to you, right? 3 square meals a day, snacks, we've spent some good time together, even outside of the research, and you tell me how much you like my fur. You do want to stay with me? Are you sure? Wow, okay. So, I should be fully honest with you that the only way that a human is allowed to stay on Taro or other AIS planets is as a pet. You would be a pet. You would be my pet, specifically. You would, legally speaking, you would become my property. I would own you. Do you understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't be considered a free person anymore. You would lose a lot of your independence. At least in the legal sense, of course. You know, I'm not gonna put you in a cage or tell you that you can't go back home if you wanted to, if you ever decided that. It is? You're okay with it? Oh, that's, I don't know what to say. Okay. Yeah, thank you. This is all I wanted, for All Souls Day. Wow. Okay. Like I said, you know, I'm gonna just take such good care of you, and we're gonna have a great time together. And you'll see that, living a life on Taro as a human won't be so bad. And I'll introduce you to all my other Taro friends, and they're gonna love you, I promise. Because you're adorable. And you're all mine. You're all mine now. Okay? So you don't have to worry about anything ever again. Okay? Any worries or fears or concerns you may have had on your planet are gone now. Okay? I promise. I I only want the best for you. I care about you. I really do. I really, really do. Oh, you've made me so happy. Mm. 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 I'm sorry, oh, I love you. I, I love you. I really do. I mean that. A part of me, I guess, always has loved you. I just had to maintain a level of professionalism between me, the researcher, and you, the subject, but, I don't have to do that anymore, because you're mine now. All mine. Forever. Or for as long as a human lives, which, is respectably long, not, as long as a Taro lifespan, but it's not nothing, right? We have many, many, many years together. I tell you what, if you tell me what ingredients I need, I think I'd very much like to try to make some eggnog. What do you think of that? I don't think I can get, like the eggs you have on Earth with chickens, I think they're called. Yeah, I can't get chicken eggs. But, we have eggs here, and, I'll check to make sure that you are capable of, consuming them before I feed them to you, of course. You wanna try? Sounds fun, right? And I can... Well, I have a lot to show you. Are you ready? Okay. Let's go make that eggnog, okay?